let's first discuss in-app purchases, which is by far the most popular and the most lucrative business model for game developers. In-app purchases basically means that the game is free, progression is completely free, but in order to speed things up, in order to get new, new items or new weapons or new tools inside a game, the users need to pay. The most classic and most popular example would be perhaps Clash of Clans, one of the most grossing games in the history of the App Store by Supercell, where a lot of the money goes into speeding processes up inside the game. In-app purchases is perhaps easier in theory because for it to actually work, a lot of the game mechanics need to make sense. For in-app purchases to be a successful business model, you first need to really, really think about how you integrate it. So, it's very, very hard to build a game, complete the development, and then say, okay, let's do some in-app purchases, have them buy a few diamonds for $2 and a new bike for $5 or a new helmet for $2. This is not it might work, but it's not the way to really incorporate your in-app purchases into the game. In order to do it properly, I always suggest, and I had many conversations with a lot of game developers about this, is to incorporate your strategy and your monetization ideas well before, into the development stage of the game. Think about how the game flow will work and at what moments of the game you will prompt a payment. What is the progression the user needs to make and how fast he needs to make it before you tell him this is the moment you need to pay, or do you want to pay now? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. I'm not going to go into strategy of currencies and payments because this is very, very intricate and very, very game specific. And there's a lot of information about it out there. But my main tip for in-app purchases is to incorporate the thinking, at least, of this into the first stages of your game development and game design. It should make sense. It should fit into the progression of the game, and it should be as not too easy, but not too hard, if you know what I'm saying. If it's too easy to get coins or currency or items in the game, there is no incentive for the user to buy anything, because why should I pay $2 if I can just play for 10 minutes and get it for free? On the other hand, if the game is too hard, and by the difficulty level, the user is in some way pushed to buy, they will pick up on it. They will understand that the sole purpose of this is to get money from him. It will completely destroy his motivation to play. And this is a very, very quick way to get an uninstall and an unhappy user and maybe a 1-star rating in the store. So this is another balance game that you need to think about and you need to test a lot. Later on, I'll talk a little bit about testing and a product that we have for mobile game developers for testing mainly ads, but also for this. So that was in-app purchases. It's by far the most lucrative, or the one with the biggest potential for revenue, and it's a great solution for game developers. But, and this might be a big one, it might not fit every game. If you have a kind of a simple puzzle game, it's very maybe difficult to integrate good in-app purchases because it's casual. People just want to play for 5 minutes and leave it. They play on the bus maybe. So they don't really have the time, energy, or willingness to dive into the game mechanics and really be addicted to the game in order to open the wallet and pay. And this is where in-app advertisements or banners come into play.